exactly. I was like, turn left at the old wine building.
Yep, and then it's these 3 rows with this a lot going on. No more vines, just berries.
Just berries.
And we have a new, hopefully that sign's still good. Yeah.
Fun one.
I had to buy some new signs.
Yeah.
They're getting old. We have some short guys.
These 3 rows.
If yields are a little bit lower, we might have to pull into the 4th row there. But all this stuff clone one.
How are you feeling? Like, what sort of inputs have you had to do so far?
Yeah, not much. Inputs are essentially water and a little bit of nitrogen and potassium.
Yeah.
It's kind of, these vines are pretty healthy. They're on like a slightly loamier clay soil in this section here than the silty stuff we have on both sides. So we have a lot more water retention down here. So we can irrigate a little bit less while still getting our canopies to where we need them to be.
Yeah.
And we try not to push them too far. Like some of these canopies get a little bit tall. I like to hit the top wire and stop. That's kind of the goal. So we don't have to.
It's nice to see even just sort of these moderate canopies. There's so many places you go, especially with Sauvignon Blanc, and it's just these like massive walls that are 8 feet high, and
they're completely unnecessary.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you've got
No, we're trying to save water too.
Right.
So it's like a balance. Keep getting the vines in a balance where we can ripen fruit while getting the canopy.
How old is this block roughly?
Planted in 17.
Okay.
So it's 8 years now. 8 years.
Was there something here before, or it was just?
Yes. So it was planted to Syrah in the late 90s, and then was removed and fallowed for a couple years, and then we put Sauv Blanc in 2017.
Do you think it's a better block for Sauvignon Blanc than Syrah for any particular reason?
Definitely, yeah. It's this is a good whites block. We can't get the stress that we can get here for reds.
Okay.
So if we had reds here, it just would be more of a production block instead of a high-end red block that we can stress. All of our soils on the hillside here, we can stress remove. That stuff, cut the water off. You get good stress in 2 weeks. Here, we got to cut the water off at least a month ahead of time because these soils will hold water.
Sure. And then you might be doing that during the hottest month of the season.
Exactly.
It can get tricky.
And so here, we don't till here. We do some tillage under the vine for weed control. But these blocks have been under a no-till program for the last 5 years now, which has been great. We run sheep through here every spring just to clean stuff up a little bit. So we're trying to the goal is to be as close to organic and regenerative as possible without being organic regenerative.
Right. Sure.
That's kind of the game plan.
Yeah. You guys have done a little leafing,
Yeah, so it's all tunneled. So you'll see as soon as you get out of your rows, everything's machine leaf. We generally kind of prefer machine leafing because it's just easy and open stuff up.
Yeah.
We went ahead and tunneled this stuff for you guys. I didn't know what your preference was.
Yeah, no, it's great.
But yeah, so everything should be tunneled up here. And we kind of like to leave these exterior leaves while keeping the inside nice and open up.
Sure.
Yeah, speckled light.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we go for out at Joy Fantastic, is a little speckled light.
Yeah, there you go. And we have some shorties this year, and they are, it was bizarre, we had like thousands of catfish in our reservoirs that ended up into our irrigation lines, and we're in our they're shooting out of our sprinklers, they're in the lines.
Wait,
they blew
baby
up
cat,
some pumps. Yeah,
what,
little tiny catfish.
Wow.
There were thousands of them, and so the vineyard smelled like fish forever because we were blasting them out of the reservoir. The coyotes would come and eat them. And by doing that, we didn't have water for a long time because we had to drain everything out and then fix everything. There was a problem with the inlet in the reservoir that needed fixed before we could fill it. So then these vines and all the vines around the house were about a month behind on watering than everything else.
Okay.
Where did you move the water from the reservoir?
Well, we blasted it through sprinklers throughout the vineyard. So we basically simulated rainfall.
Yeah.
How do you refill it?
Pumping a lot of water out of our well.
Okay.
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
So we had to waste a lot of water this year.
That is the weirdest
It was bizarre.
thing I've ever heard. I've never heard anything like that in a vineyard.
No.
Catfish shooting out of the irrigation lines. But did it end up being, this is a stupid question, but good for soil, nitrogen, our food? You know, the coyotes
ate everything. Those fish, there would be thousands of fish all over the ground, and then they'd be disappeared by the next day.
That is unbelievable.
I hope it doesn't happen again because it was a pain. It was such a pain.
I can't even imagine that.
It was one of those things that irrigator's like, our motor just blew up down here and it's not working. I'm like, well, let's check it out. And then he's like, well, there's fish inside of it. I'm like, what do you mean there's fish inside this pump? I don't understand.
Like biblical.
And yeah, they were coming through like the inlets just rusted over time. The weather must have been perfect for catfish breeding, and there were just catfish everywhere.
Strange. It's wild.
It's
That is
horrible.
amazing.
Yeah.
Also, what a great story, though. I mean,
No, that's
nobody else has that. Nobody else has that story. Just so you know.
This is it's an interesting year for sure. But there's always something random that happens.
What are you looking for in terms of yields on Sauvignon Blanc generally?
If we could get 4 tons an acre, that'd be great.
Yeah.
In general, we don't want to push it above 4.
Can you get 4 out here?
We can. In a good year, we can. If we're putting a lot of canes on, we can get 4 tons an acre. I think this year we're around 3 tons an acre for the most part, which seems to be a good sweet spot for these blocks.
Yeah, the vines look really balanced.
I mean,
there's
they look
fruit,
great.
but it's not like things are not.
Yeah, it's not too congested.
they're
There's
not-
some congestion here where it just put out way too much. But everything will be able to ripen efficiently with what we have going on. So at this point, we've got no water going on these guys for, well, at least until we hit veraison. And
Yeah.
once we hit veraison, we'll have the water back on,
Yeah.
just to get a little bit of stress going.
Right.
Not as important in whites, but still nice to have a little bit of stress in there.
Yeah, and the point of the stress, just for
to-
all of our
just-
YouTube
yeah.
viewers.
Just to add a little bit of I'll add a little bit of skin, less juice, more skin, and you'll get a little bit of extra flavor in there. So these blocks, they do a good, like, for the most part, like a lot of tropical notes to it. I think you guys have probably tasted with
Yeah,
the Sauv
for
Blanc
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
some good like fresh tropical notes here. And yeah, getting a little bit of stress in there will just help all those flavor notes kind of bump up a little bit.
And what do you have any major disease, pest issues?
We're
out
pretty
here?
lucky out here. Pigs is probably the biggest issue.
Wild
we have.
pigs?
Yeah, wild pigs will come over from the mountainside over there. They come down here and they will just eat through these grapes.
Yeah.
How do you keep them? I mean, you're
It's
you're
just-
fenced. You're
we have a one-sided fence
okay.
to keep pigs from coming over that side,
Yeah.
and then this side they just come over and eat. So it's mostly not much we can do.
Yeah.
Do you see them out
We
here?
can trap. Yes.
You do?
Yeah. There's some.
How big are they?
There's huge pigs. Anything from like the tiny little babies to boars that are about this high. There's
Boars that
huge.
are. Wait, are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah. We had a guy that we used to have a hunter on site. We don't have anymore, but he got. He's like a 6'5", just a big guy, and he had. We had trapped a pig at one time that was it was almost as tall. It was huge. It was the
Wow.
biggest animal I've ever seen. He had it. He had shot it and hung it up. Was going to use it for meat, and it was like at least 9 feet in length whenever he was holding it. It was
That
some
is
huge pig.
unbelievable.
But we have a little bit of powdery mildew, but not much since we're so far out here, and the fog and that marine layer always pulls off earlier out here. We really get nice, clear, sunny skies earlier on. The temperatures get hotter, and mildew doesn't really thrive out here. So there's been a few years where we've almost been like borderline spray free because it's been, a couple passes of sulfur and we're fine. It's just been too hot.
Is sulfur the only thing that you spray for mildew?
No, it depends on the year. So this year we had a lot of pressure probably a month ago. So we had some synthetic materials along with organic materials kind of combined together. Just depends on what pressure we're having.
Yeah.
And then at this point, there's no mildew pressure whatsoever. Temperatures are getting too hot for it. So we're kind of just like sitting here, we'll spray sulfur again, and that should be done because we'll be hitting veraison in 2 to 3 weeks. It's coming up.
And you can get away without bird netting as well.
Yes, no bird netting here. We use lasers in some spots to like deter birds with lasers, but yeah, bird netting is just, it's kind of expensive to use, and we don't have a lot of, there's some trees around here, so the edges might get pecked out a little bit, but for the most part,
It's kind of like worth the loss for just cost-wise to have to put it all up and to go for it. Yeah.
bird netting is expensive to just constantly put up, pull it down, and then you're harvesting the night before, you don't know what you're harvesting the next day. Then you like run in here and there's bird netting everywhere, and you're like, oh crap, there goes an hour of picking that we gotta pull bird netting down.
And in terms of the synthetic fungicides, like, Because I get this, because we've been organically farmed at Joy Fantastic, but we're we have so much, obviously we're the western edge of Santa Rita Hills. There's so much mildew pressure out there.
Yeah.
And I always and I teach WSET sometimes, and I'm always talking to students. People are all like organic, but I try to explain that sometimes synthetic fungicides, you spray a lot less and they can be more effective. Can you just talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
if you don't mind being right.
I mean, and it depends on your pressure situation. So if you've synthetic fungicides, they're great in terms of adding to your resistance management to make sure you're not having any resistance. If you're in a low pressure situation, organics will take care of everything that you need. If you're in a higher pressure situation, the adding an organic on top of or adding a synthetic on top of your sulfur, like a conventional pesticide, that will just help in reducing your pressure overall. And all those chemicals are out of the grapes by the time we're harvesting. They're not really penetrating. If they are penetrating, they're going into the plant tissue, like leaves and phloem xylem, one of the two, I can't remember. So conventional pesticides they work really well if you have high pressure scenarios. In low pressures, organics will be perfectly fine. And so that's kind of why it depends on the pressure. If we have a high pressure year, we'll go conventional and make sure that things are as clean as possible. I think, Santa Rita Hills is tough. We tried to do organic out there a couple times, and it's tricky. Yeah. There's just so much pressure.
And then, obviously, depending on the year, this was a pretty cool May and June, which is not not uncommon here. So
then with organics, you gotta pass more. There's way more tractor moves going through, and with some of the synthetic chemicals, you can get away with 14 days or more of not running a tractor through the field. So if you're trying to reduce tractor passes, we have pretty bad compaction here. That's kind of the main concern with our ranch here is compaction. So we try to minimize our tractor passes.
And what are the risks? Like, why is compaction bad?
It's the soil types that we have here. The soil types are just prone to compaction. So we get rain, it dries out, you drive the tractor through here, and everything just compacts.
How does it affect the vine?
Vine-wise, it's roots. So you're impacting your roots' ability to move out and expand throughout the vineyard. So that's kind of why we went to no-till. Like, whenever you're not tilling, that naturally will resist some of the compaction that you have. The more you till and make this like soft 2-foot layer, the more you drive over it, and the more you compact that down year after year, it gets really cemented. So that's kind of why we went to a no-till system here, because we have all of our, we're tracking our compaction, and we get less compaction over time with a no-till system than in any kind of till systems we used to do.
I love that you guys are tracking it instead of just saying, hey, we're going to do this. And,
that's a very Tyler Thomas thing, too,
exactly.
like both of you.
I love it. Data, baby. Get some data.
We're both on the same page.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you're data guys. It's fantastic.
We would rather have data-based decisions than anything else.
So one of the things that Chris King, when he was our vineyard manager for many years, he was telling us that you could get certified no-till, but the certified no-till, you could still till 6 inches or something into the soil. So is this so what is, like, are you guys actually not tilling anything?
Yes,
or
we do not till. So we do not till anything within the vineyard avenues here.
It's just under the vine.
We'll use a weed knife. So there is tillage there, but that tillage is minimal. So there's different levels of no-till. Like, you can be full on not tilling anything at all, but then you're using herbicides here to keep it clean, or you're planting grasses under there and you're not tilling anything. Maybe you're tilling every other row, and that's a form of, minimal tilling. I think is what they call it.
I mean, the weed knife is a surface level.
It's probably it's gutting like maybe an inch below. So you're hitting your topsoils. But we do, with all of that in mind, whenever we do use herbicides or we're using our weed knife, we're kind of cognizant that that's just disrupting all of our microbes down there. So we do have compost tea that we inject in here just to make sure that we're replenishing all the microbes in the soil, keeping those guys moving around there, because that's kind of our baseline for nutrient uptake for all of our vines.
When you say inject, do you mean fertigation or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we brew compost tea. Once we're done with any kind of synthetic nutrition, like nitrogen or potassium inputs that aren't organic, those will wipe out a lot of your populations of soil microbes. And so we'll brew the compost tea, and then we'll inject it through our irrigation system in the same manner that we injected any chemicals, so that whole layer then gets replenished with any microbes that died off.
Is there any reason why you have to use the nitrogen? And do you have to fertigate with nitrogen first?
Yeah, in general we do nitrogen first. Nitrogen and calcium on the front end of things, potassium a little bit later on. And that's due, mostly this site's really low vigor for the most part. All of our soils, they don't have great water holding capacity. We have a lot of lower vigor rootstocks. So we kind of need a little bit of nutrition to help bump things up and keep everything. Otherwise we won't hit the top canopy at all.
But the compost tea won't do that in and of itself?
No, compost tea won't. The compost tea doesn't have any like nutritional value. It's more about adding microbes back.
Okay.
And microbes kind of act as a taxiing system for different like micro and macronutrients for the root zones. So like some microbes will grab onto nitrogen and help pull it in. Or they'll, some of the fungi will attach to the root and extend the root a little bit to have more water availability for each plant.
I like the microbe taxi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cute.
Yeah. So that's kind of the baseline of why we're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks great. Looks great.
But
yeah,
it goes all the way to that side of the road too. So I don't know if you want to keep walking.
Like, oh my God, what is going on? Yeah. What's going on? Like, we have a lot of.
Like this little area here is a lot bigger.
Oh, this is like they're like up over our heads
and
here.
This used to be. I guess it's kind of hard to see from here. There's a small hill right here with a little road on top of it.
Yeah.
That used to be a whole hillside that came right here.
Huh.
And then this was the.
What do you mean
used
to be?
They carved it all out whenever the vineyards were made.
Oh, so
So there used to be a hill right behind you where it kind of peaks up a little bit, and this would have been the swale.
Yeah.
So they would have leveled that area to get rid of this small hillside to make this slightly more flat. And so this was like a natural waterway swale.
Do you think the groundwater is still pretty high?
It will hold more water.
It hold more water. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why you hit this little dip here.
I mean, it really is. It's like over your
like
head,
a little
Peter.
Triangle shape.
Yeah.
And the rest of the block, not so much.
Yeah, like 30 or 40 trees.
Yeah. And then you'll have more fruit here too. Like
I mean, lots and lots.
Yeah. That's why it's important to sample